For 181 days, yes, almost an entire legislative year, the people of Kogi Central had no voice in the Nigerian Senate. Why? Because of one undeserved, unnecessary and highly politicized battle, the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. This saga is no longer just about a disputed seat in the Red Chamber. It is now about the soul of Nigeria's democracy, the arrogance of power, and the dangerous precedent of silencing elected representatives. Today on Chinek TV, we ask the hard question: why is the Senate holding an entire senatorial district hostage over ego, politics, and vendetta? Let's start with the background. From a seat to a storm, it all started with something as simple as a sitting arrangement. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, elected senator for Kogi Central, had a dispute with Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Her protest in the chamber was seen as disobedience. But instead of resolving it with maturity, the Senate escalated it. Soon, Natasha accused Akpabio of humiliating her because she rejected his alleged sexual advances. Akpabio denied the claims. The Senate, however, responded with a sledgehammer, a 6-month suspension, almost the entire legislative calendar. Now, ask yourself, was that discipline or political assassination of representation? Now let's look at democracy denied. For 181 days, over 2 million people in Kogi Central were without representation. No motions, no debates, no voice in national decision making. This is more than Natasha versus Akpabio. It is a direct assault on Section 68 of Nigeria's Constitution, which guarantees citizens' representation in Parliament. When one senator is silenced, it is not just Natasha who suffers. It is the market women in Ukene, the miner in Itape, and the students in Lokoja. The Senate, whose duty is to protect democracy, ended up weakening it. Now let us look at the court versus the Senate. In July, Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court declared Natasha's suspension excessive and unconstitutional and ordered the Senate to reinstate her. But instead of obeying the judgment, the Senate doubled down. They told Natasha she could not return until the Court of Appeal rules on her case. That's like saying, even if you serve your punishment, we won't let you back in until we feel like it. Think about it. Natasha served her full 6-month suspension. By law and logic, she should resume. But the Senate has now created a moving goalpost. This is not discipline. It is open defiance of the judiciary. It is legislative impunity at its peak. Now let's see the political undercurrent. Why is Natasha being treated this way? Many Nigerians believe it is more than the rules of the chamber. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is not an ordinary senator. She is young, female, outspoken, and she represents a region dominated by heavyweights of the ruling APC. Her victory under the PDP was a political earthquake in Kogi politics, traditionally controlled by the entrenched male politicians. Some insiders whisper that silencing her is a way to neutralize her growing influence ahead of the 2027 elections. If true, then the Senate is being used as a political weapon. What a dangerous pattern. This is not the first time senators have been suspended. Anin Dume, Abdul Ningi, and even Ovie Omo Agege have tested Senate's hammer. But Natasha's case stands out because of its length, timing, and the allegations tied to it. If Senate can suspend any member for nearly an entire year, what stops them from suspending more opposition voices tomorrow? This is how parliaments become dictatorships in disguise, not by military coups, but by slow erosion of rules, one suspension at a time. Now let's see the cost to the nation. Let's be clear, this fight is not free. Taxpayers are funding a Senate that has wasted months battling one woman instead of passing urgent laws on insecurity, inflation, or unemployment. The energy spent on Natasha's seat could have gone on debating solutions to banditry, improving Nigeria's power sector, or strengthening the naira. Instead, the Red Chamber has been reduced to a theater of ego wars. What still? If Natasha eventually wins her case at the Court of Appeal, it means taxpayers will foot the bill for damages. Nigeria, once again, pays for arrogance of its leaders. Now let's see the gender factor. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is a woman in a male-dominated Senate. Would this impasse have dragged for 6 months if the senator was a man? Across Africa, female politicians often face double battles against political opponents and against entrenched patriarchy. Natasha's story fits this unfortunate pattern. Her suspension, tied to allegations of rejecting advances, has sparked conversation about how women in politics are treated when they dare to challenge the system. Now let us see what is at stake. This impasse is bigger than Natasha. It is about whether Nigeria's democracy can protect dissenting voices. If the Senate can silence Natasha for 180 days, then tomorrow it could silence any other senator who refuses to bow to leadership. And when parliament becomes an echo chamber for the powerful, the people loses their democracy. The world is watching. Investors are watching. Nigerians are watching. And what they see is a Senate unable to rise above partiness to confront Nigeria's real problems. Now let's see the way forward. So, what should be done? 1. Immediate recall. The Senate should end this impasse by allowing Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan to resume immediately. Enough of dragging Nigeria's democracy into disrepute. 2. Respect the courts. If the judiciary rules, lawmakers must obey. Anything less is a mockery of separation of powers. 3. Reform internal rules. The Senate needs clear, transparent limits on suspension to prevent abuse. No senator should be suspended more than a short period without judicial backing. 4. Focus on governance. Nigerians did not elect lawmakers to fight over seats. They elected them to fix insecurity, hunger, and economic decline. In conclusion, this is a test of maturity. The Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan saga is a test for 10th Senate. Will it choose maturity and statesmanship, or will it descend further into partiness and vendetta? For the people of Kogi Central, this is not about politics. It is about their right to representation. For Nigerians, it is about whether our democracy can truly protect the weak against the powerful. The Senate must end Natasha impasse now. Not tomorrow, not after another court judgment. Now. Because democracy delayed is democracy denied. This is Unique TV, where we hold power to account. If you believe the people deserve a voice, share this video, drop your comments, and let's demand an end to Natasha's impasse. Nigeria's democracy must work for everyone, not just for the powerful few.
watching. Bye.